Hi, good afternoon. Abdullah has asked if I would address you, so I'm doing it in this form rather than coming all the way to Scotland to do it. You must excuse me for being a little bit underdressed, but since I've become unemployed, this is the costume or one of the costumes that I tend to use to be anyway slightly more relaxed maybe than I would normally be. So you'll have to excuse that. But it's a very great honor and pleasure to be able to address you. Thank you for all your support. I think our situation is well known to you. You should know that I've been sacked by the University of Chichester. The course that I taught on has been suspended. That was a master's program, an MRes in the history of Africa and the African Diaspora that we established in 2018 as a result of, you could say, community recommendations, really to encourage more Black students to engage with history, because we identified this was a problem. We didn't have very many Black academic historians or even school teachers for that matter. Very few, very low numbers of postgraduate students, master's level or PhD level. So the course was really set up to encourage people to come back to history, people who've been alienated from history, to come back, to undertake some research, hopefully to go on and do other things. And we ran the course over 5 years. We think, students think it's great. We produced 7 PhD students, 6 of them at the University of Chichester, 5 still there as PhD students. We recruited from all over the world. The only, criticism I had was that the university didn't market the program. But all was well until May of this year, when the university decided to set a target which I could not meet. I had no time to meet. I wasn't given a year to meet the target. I was essentially told that you haven't met the target that's just been set, and therefore the course will be suspended, recruitment will be suspended. Those students who had enrolled for this September were just told, the course is closed. 2 months later, that circumstance was used to sack me. That's effectively what has happened. I was held. My fate, or my post, more correctly, was linked to the course and the fact that it didn't recruit as the university said it should. Of course, I'm not responsible for recruitment, but the director of marketing wasn't made redundant, vice chancellor wasn't made redundant, the head of my department wasn't made redundant. I was made redundant, and my 16 postgraduate students, 10 PhD students, 6 master's students that were left completely without supervision, apparently without any plan as to what should happen to them. And all of them extremely unhappy, not even really wanting to be connected with the university. Anyway, that's the situation we face. As a result of the students getting together and organising themselves, we've had amazing support from all over the world. Over 12,000 people have signed a petition. People have written letters, written on social media, complained, done all kinds of things to try to reverse the decision of the university. None of that has been successful, and so we're coming to you. I think I can say I speak with the knowledge and support of the students. I don't speak for them, but I think they would also say that we come to you for support. We're very, very glad to get resolutions from branches. We've had support from my own branch, Chichester, from Oxford, Durham, Manchester, Leeds, I believe, as well. Several maybe other branches I've forgotten about. Great support from branches. We've had more difficulties with the National Union, and I'll just explain those briefly. Of course, the General Secretary, Joe Grady, issued a statement about what was happening and called it an attack on Black academia. I'm not entirely sure what was meant by that. I think it's an attack on everybody, on all academics. there's not really a black academia or white academia. But anyway, whatever that means, I'm sure it was well intentioned. It was great to have that support at national level. But unfortunately, there's been very little support since that period. My local branch and representatives have done their best. The main thing which I needed from a very early stage was legal advice. Not legal representation as such, but just advice. And the national union in the region was very reluctant to give that. At one stage I was told, well, let's talk about discrimination, all this kind of thing is one thing, but wait until you're sacked and then we should be able to do something. Well, I have been sacked now and there's still nothing happening. The union has always made legal advice conditional. The first condition was that I had to answer 30 questions, which when you're going through what we've gone through and are going through is actually a very difficult thing to do. It's not supportive, especially when the questions are such that the union itself should be able to answer nearly all of them. And so that was very, very difficult. And I continually argued that, look, I have a right to speak to a lawyer. I mean, it's as simple as that. And that was continually denied me for 6 weeks. Then eventually, after that time, the National Equalities Officer said, well, okay, we've changed our mind, and now you can have some legal support. However, it's again conditional. I think the main problem was that in that time, obviously, I had other people step forward to help me. Jackie McKenzie, a very well-known lawyer with Lee Day, the human rights firm, basically volunteered her advice, her support. I didn't know her before, but she helped the students. She's helped me. She sought, an opinion from a barrister. I mean, they're just giving their time pro bono. And Jackie even wrote to UCU for me and asked them, well, what's going on? Why won't you give Hakim any support? They then threatened her, threatened me, said if she's representing me, they have nothing more to do with me and all this kind of thing. And she had to explain she's not representing me, she's just trying to help and so on. So you could say like a hostile environment was created. And it's not, when you're facing redundancy, you're trying to solve the problems of your students, it wasn't helpful. It wasn't at all helpful. None of the people from the region or national office even called me and said, how you doing? Can we help? One didn't feel that one was dealing with a sympathetic organization. I tried to explain it to other people. I say it's a bit like an insurance company, a bad insurance company. The roof falls in and they appear to want to do everything to not give you a new roof. So it's a bit like that sort of feeling. So we're in a situation now where UCU are saying, well, we might give you some legal advice, but we're then going to decide whether you have a case or not. Not the lawyers, the union will decide. Well, after 6 weeks of seeing how the union operate, I don't have any confidence that they're going to support me. In addition, we said to them, well, look, we've sought the advice of a barrister, a leading barrister in her field. She's familiar with the case. Wouldn't it be sensible to, whatever law firm you use, wouldn't it be sensible to engage her and so on? They said, no, definitely we won't engage her. Why would you say that? So it just, to be honest, the whole situation, I stopped answering letters from UCU or emails. It's just so depressing. We're at a situation now where one doesn't want to go sort of make a public fuss about a union. That still may be something that's necessary to get a broader support, but we really do need financial support for the legal challenge, the legal campaigns that we're planning after my appeal in a couple of weeks' time. We're assuming that the appeal will be turned down, and so we will need to take various legal action. So we would very much like your support. If you can donate to our defence fund, then please do so. I'm sorry to have gone on for so long. I realise that's longer than 10 minutes, but just to explain things to you, because I'm not there. Of course, I'm happy to answer any questions, but I hope I've given you a kind of overview of what's going on. And yeah, if you can give any support, we'd be very appreciative. Thank you so much for your time.